We're good.
This is the regular meeting of the Community Development Commission. Today is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. Considering the quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Ready to begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner Covington,
Here.
Commissioner Frazier, Commissioner Le,
Here.
Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Santana, Commissioner Oliva,
Here.
Commissioner Harvey, Commissioner Padilla,
Here.
Commissioner Cornelius. He is online and unable with the microphone. Thank you. Yeah.
At this time, members of the public may address the Community Development Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action may be taken on non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? Please note that you have 3 minutes to speak.
We have none.
This is the time for the commission to consider matters under consent calendar. Items include item 1. Do you have a motion to consider item number 1?
Let's move it.
Do I have a second?
I say.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Matter approved by unanimous consent? Is that correct? No? Awesome.
Excuse me, Madam.
We will not consider matters under the business calendar. The first item on the business calendar is item number 2. Approve commitment of $5,256,327 in Home American Rescue Plan funds, $484,000 in inclusionary housing funds, 25 project-based vouchers, and loan forgiveness for Jamboree Housing Corporation and WISEPlace for the development of the WISEPlace permanent supported housing project located on 1411 North Broadway. Full staff report on the matter.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We are excited to present this item to you today. It has been since March 2020, March or February 2020, since we've had this kind of opportunity before us and this kind of recommendation for the committee for a affordable housing project. So for our presentation today, I'd like to invite up our housing program analyst, Ms. Claudia Shaw, to provide a presentation joined by the developer and our service provider.
Good afternoon, members of the commission. Thank you for listening to our exciting project. I'm going to present background on the RFP and how we got here today to present this award today. So, request for proposals background. On December 7th, the City Council authorized the Community Development Agency to receive the fiscal year 21-22 request for proposals to develop affordable rental and ownership projects. Following this approval, the next day on December 8th, 2021, CDA issued RFP number 21-136 for affordable housing development. The RFP was published both on the city and the Housing Authority's website. Planning bids and an email blast was sent to all interested developers and nonprofit organizations. The amount of monies offered in the request for proposals included $10,093,318 from the Inclusionary Housing Fund, over $3 million in a Home Investment Partnership Program Fund, from the Home American Rescue Plan, or the Home ARP Plan, it was a total of $5,256,327. The neighborhood stabilization program offered $135,107 and 25 project-based vouchers. As you can see, this total in over $18 million of housing funds available to developers to develop projects here in the city of St. Anna. The RFP also included a land asset currently held by the Housing Authority at 302 East 22nd Street. The deadline for the RFP for affordable housing development was Monday, February 28, 2022. We actually received 3 eligible proposals prior to the deadline. 2 other proposals were deemed ineligible, but the 3 proposals came from Jamboree, WISEPlace, CNC Development, and Habitat for Humanity. After the deadline, a minimum threshold review was conducted to make sure that the bids came into compliance with the RFP requirements. Following the minimum threshold, we formed a review panel to conduct the review of the bids. The review panel included our assistant city manager, also our executive director of CDA, the director of planning and building, the principal civil engineer from Public Works, the housing division manager, the housing programs analyst, and 2 of our consultants, one from KMA, the other from RSG. Next. On May 4th, 2022, the review panel interviewed all the developers who submitted a proposal. Following these interviews, a review panel discussed and deliberated upon the final scoring and selection for the proposals. The review panel agreed upon the final scores below, based on the average of the individual scores of each one of the review panelists. The final scores for Jamboree and WISEPlace received a score of 95 for the project at WISEPlace permanent supportive housing. Habitat for Humanity submitted a proposal for building homes on Washington Ave. Their final score was 75. And CNC Development proposed a rehab project at Orchard and Mini Apartments. That particular project is still pending further negotiation, so we do not have a score on that yet. Next slide. The award recommendation for today is based on the scores. We're happy to award and recommend an award to Jamboree Housing and WISEPlace of $5,256,327 in Home American Rescue Plan funds, $484,000 in inclusionary housing funds, and 25 project-based vouchers. Next. The pre-commitment letter for Jamboree and WISEPlace will provide the enforceable funding commitment for the development of WISEPlace permanent supportive housing project located at 1411 North Broadway. The pre-commitment letter will also include a provision for an award of $484,000 in inclusionary housing funds for relocation benefits if necessary. So since WISEPlace is a shelter for women, the occupants of the transitional shelter are not, they do not meet the definition of a displaced person because the housing they occupy is not permanent and they do not pay for the housing. So by law, the city or WISEPlace do not really have to pay relocation fees. But WISEPlace and the city of St. Anna do want to provide the relocation benefits if necessary. We are hoping that between now and the time of the beginning of construction, that most of the residents there are 20 residents right now, will already have been placed in permanent housing or some type of transitional housing, so they may not need the relocation benefits, but in the event they do, we will match WISEPlace also contribution of $484,000. Next. The award recommendation, among various other conditions in the pre-commitment letter, one of the primary conditions is that the developer must provide verification that it secured all is remaining financing before we return to city council for final approval. The pre-commitment letter is also conditional on the developer securing any and all permits and discretionary approvals that may be required for the project by the city, including approval of a density bonus agreement by the city council. There's also a CDBG loan forgiveness factor incorporated. We are recommending to forgive an existing city loan with WISEPlace for $723,446.41 in community development block grants outstanding from a loan that was executed in 1996 and later amended in 2001. This was a former loan that was done for rehab of this project. The original loan amount was actually $904,000, and there was a forgiveness at one point for $250,000. And so, after discussions with Jamboree and WISEPlace, tax credit partnership to be formed cannot assume any of this existing debt. So, in order to proceed with this award, the recommendation is for the city to forgive this loan, which is in line with the way things were done in the past with the previous loan as well. Other condition approvals that happened at its regular meeting on May 9th, 2022, the planning commission recommended approval of the density bonus agreement application number 2022-01 by a vote of 5-0. And at its regular meeting on March 3rd, 2022, the Historic Resources Commission considered historic exterior modification application to allow exterior modifications to the historic Santa Ana Heston Young Women's Christian Association building located on the subject property. The Historic Commission recommended approval of this with added conditions by a vote of 8-0. So that is the background on the RFP. That's how we got here today. So right now I'm actually very excited to introduce the CEO of WISEPlace, Ms. Bertio. She'll tell you more about the project.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you so much for allowing us to share your evening with you. For almost a century, WISEPlace has proudly called Santa Ana home. And be able to build supportive housing in our community, and to do so while restoring the historical significance of our building and just be a dream realize for our organization. My name is Bertio. I'm the CEO of WISEPlace. I was brought in 2018, and with me, I will hear from my partner, Casey Harris, Senior Project Manager at Jamboree. Since 1924, we have proudly walked alongside and served over 8,400 women right here in Santa Ana. As Claudia mentioned, our organization was first formed at the WISEPlace and officially became WISEPlace in 1999. We are proud to be the only Orange County nonprofit that really specializes and solely focuses on the unmet needs of a vulnerable group population or community called unaccompanied women. And unaccompanied women is just another way of saying women who are especially vulnerable because essentially they lack the support system of a partner or children. And so why are they vulnerable? They're vulnerable because essentially they're alone. And unfortunately, as general homelessness, last week the report came out that general homelessness was down almost 20% throughout the county. But women unaccompanied women experiencing homelessness, unfortunately the number is going in the wrong direction. And just about 2 years ago, it was 1 in every 4 homeless adults was an unaccompanied woman. But for the past year, it's actually 1 in every 3 homeless adults is an unaccompanied woman. And some of the largest populations of unaccompanied women are actually seniors now. Seniors are one of the fastest growing populations to experience homelessness for the first time. And that's essentially a problem, right? Because seniors on a fixed income cannot afford fair market rent. At WISEPlace, nationally, about 50% of unaccompanied women are survivors of domestic violence. But at our organization, WISEPlace, last year, 67% of the women we serve were survivors of domestic violence, and about 42% are actively fleeing an abuser. 2/3 of the population that we serve are disabled, and 100% live in poverty, which means the women that we support every year, there's not one woman who has come to us with making income over $40,000. And I know that statistics like this can be very overwhelming. And they are, especially when we realize that these numbers are people and people in our community, especially some women in our community. But the next slide will show kind of our outcomes. But before we talk about our outcomes, I'd like to talk about our background services. So how do we affect positive change thanks to your support? We provide safe shelter and basic necessities. You know, oftentimes people ask me, what does the first day of a woman who comes into your shelter, what is her experience like? Oftentimes people are surprised when I tell them, women sleeps for probably the first time in weeks, if not months, because she's no longer couch surfing in unsafe environments. She's no longer sleeping in her car and afraid to go to sleep frankly. So when she's at our shelter, it's the first time that somebody feels that we are safe and that we can sleep. We provide all the basic necessities. We provide hundreds of tens of thousands of meals, more nutritious meals a day, all the clothing, the hygiene products somebody would need. We pair somebody with a case manager and a clinical counselor so that everybody has somebody to walk alongside them that is trauma-informed, that has education that can really help to rebuild their lives. We provide employment and income savings programs, strategic partnerships outside of WISEPlace as well as in-house, strategic partnerships with healthcare providers, dental, vision, so that we can be proactive with the ladies' healthcare so that they are not dependent on emergency room visits, right? So proactive approach to stabilizing. Life skill classes and weekly activities. So in addition to all of the employment savings and the budgeting classes, we have fun at the shelter too. Every Friday, you're welcome to join us if you like bingo, you movie night, you play bingo. And why is that important? It's important that we build community so that people experiencing homelessness feel seen and that they know that they are worthy of being able to rebuild their lives. For those that need it, we have in-house and off-site recovery needs as well. And then of course, our ultimate goal is to end homelessness permanently and sustain it. So as we go through our programs, which we refer to as the WISEPlace way, the end goal is housing placement, of course. And we're able to provide rental assistance. And thank you again to the city of Santa Ana to be our partner in doing so. And then once somebody is placed, we do not just walk away because we know that life continues and hardship can continue. And we want to be the stewards of our investment. And so we stay with case management, continues to stay for at least a year, but oftentimes, especially due to the pandemic, we stay for over a year. So even when someone is in their own group event or in their home, we stay and assist, and they know that we're just a little hallway. And so here, just kind of, I took out the 4 benchmarks of success for our organization because we are serving so many vulnerable women who are either actively fleeing or survivors of domestic violence and first experience homelessness because of being a survivor of domestic violence. We like to share that, you know, at minimum 60% or more have an increased knowledge of the legal system and how to protect them and how to make choices for the future. Employment, at least 70% or more of the women we serve are able to obtain and sustain employment and exit with significant amount of savings. Our national empowerment, it's not just getting the job and keeping the job, but it's really learning to budget and save and to be able to have that safety net for yourself. So if someone first starts to work part-time, there's a budget for that. As they get promoted and work full-time, and if it's the budget changes, so we're able to help reach that personal self-sufficiency. And then of course, our housing stability, so 75% will transition from our shelter to long-term permanent housing. And what we're most proud of is that this is long-lasting change. So 75% or more will sustain that housing. And before I have Casey come up and join me, I want you to know that that quote really is for you. This is Sylvia, and she says, for once in my life, I was not frightened and scared. I was supported and empowered to find my path. And now I have the warmth and the security of a home. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting WISEPlace through our shelter services and hopefully through our housing.
Thank you, Mateo, and again, I'm Casey Harris with Jamboree. So next slide, please. So we wanted to just touch on what is permanent supportive housing. It's permanent housing just like any other apartment, but what sets it apart is really having those wraparound services that Mateo mentioned. And it's a nationally recognized best practice that incorporates wraparound services into long-term housing to create that housing stability. So just like Mateo mentioned with the 95% retention rate, Jamboree actually has over 98% retention rate, keeping people housed long-term with this type of housing. So next slide, please. So I want to introduce Jamboree and then I'll go into some more detail on it. So Jamboree is a missionary nonprofit founded here over 1990, and we focus on the development of affordable and permanent supportive housing. As one of California's largest nonprofit developers, we work every day to transform lives and strengthen communities. And our next slide will go into a little more detail on the number of properties we have. So next slide, please. We have over 100 properties and over 10,000 apartments throughout the state. And many of these are developed by partnering cities and agencies throughout California, such as the city of Santa Ana. So we successfully completed 4 developments here in the city, and we currently have 1 under construction as well. And then we have experience partnering with over 45 joint ventures. So we're excited to partner with WISEPlace and continue that tradition. So and then our next slide focuses on Heroes Landing, which is an award-winning permanent supportive housing development here in Santa Ana, exclusively for formerly homeless veterans. And we have wraparound services with agencies like the VA and Step Up on the Second. And it's won many recent awards, such as the Golden Gate Design Award, the Kennedy Commission's Development of the Year, and the Best Multifamily Affordable from the National Association of Home Builders. So now we'll go into a little more detail on the WISEPlace development. So we're offering 48 apartment homes, 47 studios, and 1 2-bedroom manager's unit for the on-site property manager. And the residents will pay no more than 30% of their income on rent. So they'll pay about 30% of we anticipate mostly on Social Security income. And as Rachel noted, the population we want to serve is individuals who would benefit from services that WISEPlace has to offer, so primarily unaccompanied women who are currently experiencing homelessness with a local preference for Santa Ana. So we went through the process of getting the Historic Resource Commission's approval. So I just want to touch on the landmark status of the building and how we're preserving that structure. So you can see the red 127 feet setback from Broadway is the existing building that will remain. It's facing east-west, and then the north-south portion, which is in yellow here, was actually significantly altered in the 80s after the building was built. So it was deemed to be not historically significant. So we're proposing to demolish that portion and then a small portion of the existing one-story structure. And we did gain unanimous approval from both Historic Resource Commission and Planning Commission. And then the first floor plan just shows a little more detail on the adaptive reuse versus the new construction. So the one-story structure facing Broadway will include 3 apartment homes there, and that allows us to use the city's adaptive reuse ordinance. We have amenities like the existing community room with the existing fireplace facing Broadway, some computer lounge, some offices, and then the 3 apartment homes, and that opens onto the existing courtyard that has really nice mature plants, so that'll all remain intact. And then the new construction facing Sycamore is 4 stories with, the first level is putting parking with the construction, or excuse me, the parking entrance off of Sycamore. And we have 20 parking stalls there, and then we have our community gardens, barbecue, and dog run as well. And then the typical floor plan is the next slide. So on a typical floor plan, just the double loaded corridor with apartments on either side of the hallway, and we have our supportive services offices, and then laundry on each floor, and we did include a composting in the trash room as well for the city's new guidelines towards sustainability. And then on the top floor, the 4th floor, which is the next slide, we've incorporated a new community room with a kitchen component, and there's an indoor-outdoor courtyard feature where, you know, if we're having events where people can use the indoor-outdoor space and do community building activities there. And the next slide shows a little bit more detail on the map scene and how we step back from Broadway, so you can see the new construction kind of complements the existing one-story structure and really integrates the design, but it is different and distinguishable so that you can tell what's existing and what's new, and that was recommended by the historic consultant. And then the west elevation, just this would be if you're looking straight on from Broadway, again, just shows another perspective. And then we do some additional renderings on the next slide. And this, we really wanted to maintain the existing sightline, so if you're walking along Broadway, you feel the same as you do today. So you can see the existing building and then the new construction portion, slightly different color behind it is meant to kind of blend into the background. And so I'll briefly touch on our funding sources, including the cities. So at Jamboree, we're experts at leveraging local dollars to millions of outside dollars, and you can see the 9% low-income housing tax credit is about 70% of our total development cost. So we would take the city of St. Anne's investment and leverage that into about $20 million of equity from those tax credits. And then we also recently were awarded the Orange County Housing Finance Trust funds of $2.5 million. And then we're waiting on the affordable housing program. That's $1 million grant that we've applied to, and we'll know in June if we were awarded for that. And then we have a small deferred developer fee as well. And finally on schedule, so we are planning to have pending obviously the city's approval of this funding, and then we would start our construction in the spring of 2023, and we begin leasing in the summer of 2024, and then we hope that you would join us at the grand opening in fall of 2024. And so that's a brief overview, and then I'll invite Rachel back up to just touch on operations. Thank you.
And again, you know, supportive housing ends homelessness, long lasting because it pairs housing solutions with wraparound services. And we talked about those earlier, but these are just some examples. So we focus on socialization, we focus on financial literacy, we focus on integration with the community. We are, you know, through the pandemic, WISEPlace volunteers opportunity have gone up, not down, because we're really great at engagement with the community, with corporate volunteers who come into Santa Ana and work alongside our participants. And so these would just be examples: financial literacy courses with financial institutions, basic life skills training, socialization. So there's a full integration with the community. And then we will have a 24/7 on-site property manager. So Casey was mentioning that 2-bedroom on-site apartment is for the property manager, so that we can not just build a great community for those who live in our housing property, but also with our neighbors and the community as a whole. We'll have state-of-the-art voice down systems, kind of keyless phone entries, and surveillance cameras throughout. And then of course we would have a visitation protocol as well. And this is just to highlight some of the community outreach that we've done focused on our friends and our neighbors in Santa Ana. As Casey mentioned, we have had 2 public meetings, 2 sunshine ordinance meetings in February and March, which were very well received. Some of the neighborhood associations who we work closely with and communicate on a regular basis. Some peer Santa Ana nonprofits such as Local Wardrobes, Wood Floor, Goodwill of Orange County, some great community organizations that are very invested in our mission and volunteer on a regular basis, like Santa Ana Kiwanis, the Santa Ana Elks, the Santa Ana Rotary, just to name a few. And of course, some faith-based organizations who volunteer on a regular basis with us, like Second Baptist Church, and corporations and healthcare institutions like Providence and Serve People. And so again, thank you so much for allowing us to share your evening with you. And thank you for your consideration with this project. And thank you for your decades of past support for our organization. We truly are so proud to have called Santa Ana for almost a decade. And we would welcome your feedback. Questions. Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone have questions for staff?
I'm so sorry. Well, I don't know.
I was actually going to finish it, and so far.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, you're looking this way, so.
No worries. I just want to make a couple comments to my fellow commissioners and to the staff here at Wise Place. I'm also a proud Santa Ana, and we have supported you guys for years. I've been there, I've supported and some of the ladies you've helped. When my mom passed away, I knew exactly what to do with all of her stuff as far as her clothes for business and jewelry and purses and shoes. And we had loads of stuff that went there. I know I went to get good work there. Just a question for you. I used to know Kathy Bowman was also one of your previous CEO or what. She's a member of my Kiwanis Club. But question, I know you're putting in 47 studios and one bedroom there in the Broadway location, but I noticed there was a mention of a property in the 300 block of East 22nd Street. What is the purpose of that property and how are these funds going to impact that property?
Thank you, Commissioner Covington. The mention of 302 East 22nd Street was a property that we need available in our RFP for affordable housing development. We didn't receive any proposals for that site. And so staff are, this is the 3rd time we've made that site available for affordable housing development. And this is, we've now exhausted our efforts to try and seek proposals for affordable housing on that site. So we're now evaluating options to possibly sell the parcel.
Okay, thank you. But keep up the good work.
Nice meeting you. Are we still on whichever? June? Oh, yes. Okay. I think the only question I have is how many Santa residents reside at White's Place?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Well, right now, because we're gearing up towards construction, we only have about 20 on site. So off the top of my head, I would say probably at least 15 of the 20 are Santa Ana residents.
Percentage wise throughout the year?
Oh, you're gonna make me do math without a calculator. Hi, so I would say probably 80%, maybe even on an annual basis.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I had a question in regards to the 25 vouchers. How many of those vouchers are going to be saved or loaded to Santa Ana residents, or is this just up for grabs for any people who needs a shelter?
Yeah, so we've agreed in the constituent agreement to have the local reference for Santa Ana residents for all 25.
Awesome. Any additional questions?
So, I first of all say thank you for you guys providing this, say, stay for the year. Question that I see on the floor plan, like they can cook themselves or like you can buy and build like that.
So we have an operating kitchen, and in 2018, our organization went for a 102-hour operating kitchen. And when I came in, I built a associated partnership with a nonprofit called Martin's Kitchen. And so we pay Martin's Kitchen a nominal fee, and they bring in a more nutritious lunch and dinner, and then we do a continental breakfast. So that's how we've been currently operating since 2018. And then in our housing development, all of the studios have a kitchenette.
Then what's all the program that you guys offer to the resident that kind of morning time or what we for the resident? What's on the program there?
Just to make sure I understand the question, what kind of programs would we offer in the housing?
Not for housing, for the resident that live there, like how are you guys more like morning time, how you guys more in time for them to, yeah, that, I heard earlier, you have the movie day.
Yes.
So-
Yes, we have lots of activities, and if you, more are talented, you have time to share with us, we welcome you. So we have an activities calendar every month. We bring a lot of corporate partnerships in. It's a great way to engage. So we do a lot of resume building, resume coaching, financial literacy, budgeting. That's all done one-on-one with groups. And then we will have like a bingo night, movie night. We do lots of arts for healing as well. So you don't have to be talented. It's just about expression through art. We will do meditation on a weekly basis. We'll do yoga on a weekly basis. And again, that's all through volunteer engagement.
That's awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Karen, this is my second.
No, I'm fine. I don't have a question.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, since we're on the item, I'm a little just curious, maybe since that report on forgetting the, like, there's a loan that was for $720,000. Can you expand more on that?
Yes, of course. So there is currently a loan that was executed, loan still existing on the WISEPlace property that was executed originally in 1996 and amended in 2001. Because of the way the project is structured, we said it in a technical way, but basically what's happening is that WISEPlace and Jamboree are entering into a marriage, right, through this limited partnership. And WISEPlace is going to lease their property to Jamboree for a long period of time for the development of the project. Well, they can't enter into that partnership and lease agreement with WISEPlace bringing this $700,000 in debt. And if they don't pay off that debt before they enter into that partnership, then the partnership could dissolve and jeopardize the entire project. And so as an additional award to the project, the city is, our staff is recommending to forgive that existing debt so that the project can proceed successfully.
If I read correctly, it said that it was only, the city was charging a 1% interest rate for 55 years.
The terms of that loan, Clara?
Yes, the loan is a 1% interest rate. It goes back to 1996. And then initially it was $904,000 and then $250,000 was forgiven back then. And then over the years, there was a term that WISEPlace had to pay $6,600 a year as a payment to for the first 15 years. And once they paid that 15 years worth of payments, then that's when we forgave the $250,000. So the balance remains, but unfortunately, the interest is accumulating. So even though they continue making a $6,600 payment, it's just going towards interest, and the principal is not getting paid down. It's almost impossible. And in the past, the previous management here at CBA, they did want to do this, it just never happened. And now this project became part of the
I understand that, and I think to me, the reason why I bring it up is because we're really granting a substantial amount of money for housing, but yet there's a balance, and I feel like, was there a struggle to pay off that debt? Any question goes to WISEPlace. But you said you have a lot of community partners and corporate partners. This doesn't seem like a big amount of money to pay down. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, and thank you for your question. This has been kind of heartbreaking to find out that, you know, the 20, 30, 40 years history of our organization. I know that it does not seem like a lot of money. It's, you know, $750,000. But just to put what $750,000 means to WISEPlace. In 2017, our organization was $600,000 collectively, and our organization lost $116,000 that year. The year prior, our organization lost $150,000. For about 5 or 6 years, our organization was wavering. And I really thank the city of Santa Ana for staying by our organization side. I was brought in 2018, and since 2018 to 2022, you know, for the last 4 or 5 years, we have not lost a penny. We're good stewards of the money. It is incredibly hard to fundraise. So we are a grassroots organization. So if you take kind of an apples to apples conversation from a financial perspective, in 2017, our organization was $600,000. This loan in and of itself was larger than a whole organization. Now, without government funding, our organization is about $1.6 million. And so $750,000 is almost half of our organization's collective operating budget.
Yeah, I think I want to sound sensitive. I know the great work we do. I've actually sat here many times in the facility. We've given grants to you, but part of me feels that, you know, if this is my organization, I want to make sure that I'm paying more than just the minimum and not carry balance and reach those high, fundraise more so we can pay it down. Because it shows more of like, we're gonna go beyond just Broadway Street. We're gonna win a second shelter or something like that. So that's just my vision. It's just that I just say it because, you know, we want to make sure that we're good stewards of this money. We want to make sure that we can impact more women who are experiencing homelessness or who are unsheltered. So that's one reason why I brought that up. But I think I thank you for your response.
Yeah, thank you for your, you know, honest and direct feedback. I share your sentiments with you. I think, you know, when I was brought in 2018, you first have to stabilize an organization that for 6, 7 years has lost money. And again, we've done that the last 4 or 5 years. So we have doubled the size of our organization, and we have almost tripled the size of the women that we're impacting. In part thanks to the city's partnership, we are now able to provide services that for, you know, 100 years we weren't able to provide, and we've been able to do so consistently 2 or 3 years. So, you know, our strategic plan is to first have to build the foundation. It's almost like we were a 100-year-old startup, if that makes sense. It's kind of the best way I can describe us. So first, make sure that we were financially stable, that we were strategic in our partnerships, that we were doing more for the women that we were serving, that we had outcomes, and not just output, but outcomes. So reaching more women with quality services that we could prove for working. And so I share your sentiment. I hope that this is the first housing, this is our first housing ever in 100 years. We've been a shelter, and so I do hope to
And we hear you because our commissioners have said that, you know, beyond just sheltering, what are we doing to really rehabilitate, get them financially ready, all this stuff. So, and then we know that there's more shelters that are opening, there's more funding for the state, more funds for the county, that county has it all accounts. So we understand the great work you're doing and keep on it. So that's all I want to make sure you walk away knowing that you're doing good work.
thank you. Well, thank you for fueling our mission. Thank you.
Commissioner Covington?
It was pretty similar to Commissioner Santana. I was just picturing 2 years in the future when you guys have 47 units built, you've got a full house, how we're preparing today for the operational budget then. So if you want to expand, I heard everything you said, but you want to add to that.
Yes, we are definitely prepared in partnership. We have our operating budget for our housing. It's gonna be about 1.5 case managers and a part-time residential coordinator. We're actively working on that and we hope to build. Again, because our organization is wavering, I have been kind of slow and steady to make sure that we are financially responsible as an organization. We have also had since I stepped in 2018. And so we're building strategically. I would hope to be a little further in this project so that we can secure this project, WISEPlace's first housing, supportive housing project. And then when this project is a little closer to reality, we get through city council, we secure with Jamboree, our partnership secures the 90% tax credits. Myself and our board, our community is prepared to create a 5-year strategic plan so that we can not be a temporary mitigated shelter, but start to execute more supportive housing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions from the commission? Do I have a motion to approve item number 2, approve a commitment of $5,256,327 in American Rescue Plan Funds, $484,000 in Inclusionary Housing Fund, 25 project vouchers, and loan forgiveness for Jamboree Housing Corporation and WISEPlace for the development of the WISEPlace permanent supportive housing project located at 1411 Broadway.
Let's move it. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Matter is approved by unanimous consent. Does staff have any comments they wish to share with the commission?
Yes, really quick, thank you, Madam Chair. So first, thank you very much to the commission for the approval today. And the team from WISEPlace and Jamboree Housing for their tremendous presentation and tremendous work. I also want to thank Pedro Gomez from our planning and building agency, Ryan Hunt, our legal counsel, Claudia Shaw as our housing programs analyst, Holly Saffron, our community development analyst, and David Flores as our senior community development analyst on all their work. And anybody I may have missed, but this has been a 6-month process to get here today. A very lengthy process that started last November. So exciting development. And on top of that, we will be bringing forward a recommendation for a second award at your June commission meeting, in which we'll be recommending an award of funds for Habitat for Humanity's home ownership project on Washington Avenue that you saw in the presentation earlier. So look forward to that presentation in June. And 2 other quick comments. Our Section 8 program waiting list is closing on Tuesday, May 31st. So a couple days left for residents to apply, to reach out applicants to submit their application beforehand. We've received over 17,000 applications so far. This is roughly 700 more than we received in 2015. So great progress, and a couple days left for residents to submit their application. And then lastly, we had the privilege to provide an orientation and meet Commissioner Padilla on just yesterday. Privileged to meet with you and provide you with an orientation, and we're looking forward to scheduling the same orientation with our new Commissioner Cornelius as soon as he is available. With that, I'm sure I think.
And thank you. I look forward to
Commission members, please note that no member received more than one single impact. Have all had an opportunity to speak. Also, the commission will limit comments to the message.
I just want to thank the staff for the orientation yesterday. We're excited to see the board and I just
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner
Want to officially welcome our new Commissioner Padilla. welcome to the commission. Good to have you. I want to also thank staff for the work that you put into this. I know it's been a lot of work. I want to thank the speakers here from WISEPlace. I appreciate you being here and coming forward. And this weekend, as we all know, is Memorial Day. For a lot of people, that's a big party. You know, that's the beginning of summer. And a lot of people have forgotten what the true meaning is behind Memorial Day. I don't know how many of you have veterans in your family or have lost someone in your family by military service, but take the time to remember them. If you see a military active duty person in uniform, take the time to say thank you. Being a veteran myself, I can tell you they go a long way. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. As we start to review, first of all, I want to start by welcoming Alex to our commission. It's always good to have someone who comes from a business setting, but also understands, housing and issues that we face here in the city. I want to thank city staff who've gone out and have really helped the community by understanding the housing voucher program. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is just to sit down and create an email address and go through the process. I know it's a lengthy process, but I think it's a process that will help, ultimately for them. So there's been a lot of great consumers that are helping folks out. So hearing that there's an increase of application, that's always good. Second, it would be if we can get a agenda item to get a staff report on the county all going down homes bill. I think it's something that's important for us to understand since there are more projects that are coming down the pipeline and we understand. Third thing would be, I know that there has the CDBG grants that have been awarded, so we can reach out to organizations and start, doing some tours and being more active. And then encourage our commissioners to be active and help with, whatever you can, whether it's sharing or helping, registering folks. I think that this commission is able body to do so. So that being said, once again, I want to thank the city staff for all of our work and welcome back to the commission. I want to say thank you to city staff and you guys there working on the housing issue. I understand how important it is to provide safe life for everybody that doesn't go home. Good night, sleep, and very important. So for doing the work we can do, thank you. And thanks for our work from people that we do and they have the feet. People what you are doing going yeah.
That's a lot of the talk about the work we do. It's really just that people in the community really stop having education, especially when we get back up in the community and so it's great to hear this kind of story and.
And I just wanted to thank city staff to hear that this project will be around for 6 months. We almost have a new colleague who works in the presentation today. WISEPlace, Jamboree, we're really excited to see this project into fruition. So thank you so much for the presentation today as well. And just I want to welcome Commissioner Padilla and Commissioner Ramirez. Hopefully you can join us in person soon. And thank you everybody for joining us today. This meeting is officially adjourned. The next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 22nd.
Thank you. I look forward to joining everybody next week.